Hello there, this is Usha Pandit, your Mindsprings English teacher. Today we are going to continue the blah to brilliant words. I had done 10 words earlier, and if you've not seen that video, go and take a look at it. It was quite popular, people found it very useful. So I'm continuing with some more words that are simple and boring. And I would like you to use better words. So let's see what those words are. So great is one word that people use very commonly. How is it? How was it? Oh, great. That's a great movie, that's a great dress, that's a great purse you have there. It goes on like this. Instead of that, let's use some really powerful words that impress people. Okay? Whether you're writing, whether you're speaking, whether you're in a conversation, you need to use better words. I don't want you to remember so many words. So if you go to my book, Writing with Ease, you will find that I've given you several words, maybe 20, 30 words. You don't need so many. You start with 3 words. And when you master them, you go to the next 3. That's how we build vocabulary. Use is very important, okay? Otherwise, you will not remember and it will be of no use to you because it will just be sitting there in your memory maybe, but you will never download it and never use it. So instead of great, use the word astonishing. It's such a lovely word, astonishing. I remember thinking about this the first time I heard a native speaker use it. I said, that's a lovely word to use. Astonishing is a great word, okay? It shows a certain surprise. And how do you spell it? It's S-ton-ish-ing. See, if you break up words, they're very easy to spell, although they look really long. So, astonishing, an astonishing performance, an astonishing book, an astonishing film, an astonishing report card. You could use this word astonishing on things where you want to say great. The other one is extraordinary. That's a nice one. Ordinary is a simple word. So, extraordinary is a great word to use again for anything that where you want to praise the person. So, you say you've got an extraordinary memory. That child has got extraordinarily beautiful eyes, or someone has got extraordinarily talented or a talent or a voice, an extraordinarily beautiful voice, sweet voice. If you do this, this word extraordinary will add a lot of muscle to the great. The other word I've got for you is spectacular. Spectacular, another lovely word like astonishing. If you say something is spectacular, it means it's fabulous. It's the top end, spectacular, something that you want to look at all the time. So, spectacular can be used on situations like, say, a spectacular sunset. You can also use it for spectacular performance, or you can say you've decorated the place in a spectacular way. Anything where you want to add muscle, use this word spectacular and it will work well for you. Let's look at the second word, sad. That's another. Oh, she was sad. Oh, I feel sad. It's such a basic word. Sad is the kind of word that you use in kindergarten, that when small children are learning language for the first time, they are the ones who would use something like sad, or you would say, are you feeling sad? Because you don't want to use big words. But as you grow up, you need to change that and move that sad to a more emotive, expressive word. So, we are going to use depressed, D-press as in press and then ed, easy, just remember press. So, depressed is a state of mind and it talks to you about a mood, right? The word depressed. So, when you say sad, the sadness can be this full-blown grief where people are howling and crying, or it can be a very silent state of feeling low and upset. So, depressed is a good word whenever you want to talk about a silent grief or a silent state of unhappiness. Dejected. Dejected. Ject is what you need to remember. To be dejected is to be, or to be, for example, another word is crestfallen. So if you are dejected or crestfallen, it means that you are so disappointed. Your results, for example, might make you feel dejected or crestfallen, or you are expecting something wonderful to happen. You are expecting a business proposal to come through. You are expecting some sort of award for the hard work that you did, and it doesn't come your way. What do you feel? You feel dejected. So that's a state of mind that's again sad, but you're using a better word, or crestfallen. Wretched, now that's a funny spelling, it's a WR word. Wretched, the W is silent, so wretched is a state of complete, what shall we say, poverty, or completely a state where there is no hope. That is what you call wretched. So you might say the poor have a very wretched life, or the girl has a very wretched attitude. You also use wretched when you want to talk about someone who's not really pleasant, but wretched when you talk with poverty, when you talk with, then you're looking at the sadness of it, a wretched state, a wretched feeling. All these are related to some form of sadness. Each of these words have a flavor, and if you do not read enough, you will not get that flavor. So you make sure that you read a lot so that you catch the flavors of these words. The third one I've got for you is scared. So what happened when you suddenly saw a shadow, or what happened when the person suddenly came and patted you on the back? I got scared. I saw a movie, I got scared. The scared is another very, very baby word. So we'll get rid of the scared, and I'm going to use this was as the verb there, because I'm saying I was. Instead of saying I was scared, you say I was alarmed. Now that's a good word. To be alarmed, that kind of feeling, right? So alarmed is a good word to use. Or you were apprehensive. Now apprehensive is not the same as alarm. Alarm is like that kind of fear, and apprehension or being apprehensive, or I was apprehensive, means you are expecting something scary to happen. So apprehension is the state before something happens, and sometimes that is worse than being alarmed, because someone came and said boo, you would be alarmed and it's over. But if you don't know what to expect, you would be apprehensive. Okay, so that's a state of fear there. And then you have this extreme fear. If you were going to have a huge problem where your life was in danger, or you were going to get hurt in any way, or you were going to be lost, or you were going to lose something, if you have that kind of mortal fear of death maybe, or of harm, or of loss, then we say petrified. Good word to use, petrified. See, petrified. So you say you were petrified, and that's a great one to use. The fourth one is small. Okay, small is another again baby word. Who says small except little children? You want to use this size, small, use the word diminutive. Diminutive is very small. Okay, so a diminutive elf, a diminutive dwarf, a diminutive man, a diminutive, you don't use it for incidents and things like that. You normally use it for the size of people. Diminutive is used for size. Okay, so instead of saying short or small built, you use the word diminutive. Insignificant is another word. Again, let me do diminutive, diminutive. Now you have insignificant. See, insignificant. Insignificant is a good word. Insignificant means it is not important. So it's not the same word as same as diminutive. What you will see is words will change according to context. Insignificant means it is not important. A matter is not is insignificant. A letter is insignificant. A job is insignificant. A human being also can be insignificant, which means you don't care. It means it is not important, and therefore it is insignificant. Good, strong word to use. Use it in business language. Also, it sounds very good if you say something is insignificant. Instead of saying it's a small matter, it's not so big. You know, we talk like this. This is very colloquial. It's not so great. It's not so big. It's okay. Instead of talking like this, you just start using that one word makes such a huge difference. It's insignificant, strong. And then you have this word meager, M-E-A-G-R-E, rather hard spelling there, not easy to chunk it, but meager means very, very little. So you might have meager savings, which means it's so small, so little that you can barely make two ends meet. You can barely stay alive, meager savings. Or you might have meager investments and you are due to retire. So meager there, or a country might have a meager population. You can use it in several ways, this word meager. There are some things you can't use it for. For example, if you're talking about the size of a man, you can't say he's meager. You can't, you simply cannot. But if you're talking about money, you're talking about investment, you can even say meager energy. Say the person did not have enough energy, you might say the energy was meager. You might use it in a very poetic kind of way, but meager, that is the way you use it. Good word to use. The fifth one I've got for you is fast. I did a video on speed and I don't know how many 100 words I did in it, but I'm going to give you here 3 words for fast. Fast is another very, very baby word, and I want you to use this word with, because we are going to use nouns there. So you say with alacrity, because that word alacrity does not have an adjective, or if it has one, it's a rather not commonly used, so don't use it. Use it as the noun with alacrity. So he ran with alacrity. The tiger leapt with alacrity. The deer sped with alacrity. All of this shows a certain kind of energy. The word has got a lot of energy, alacrity. Okay, good word to use. Or you can say with agility. The word agile again is a word that is very, very, shows a certain speed and a certain mental alertness. That's what agility shows. You're agile means you're sharp and you're aware and you're focused and you're ready. So most animals you will find the qualities of alacrity and agility, because for them it's a matter of life and death. They're constantly watchful to find out which predator is going to attack them, isn't it? And therefore with agility. So the last one there is expeditiously. Expeditiously. Okay, nice word. So you work expeditiously. Expeditiously is to expedite. To expedite means to do it very quickly. So if you are a person working in an office, people want you to work expeditiously. They do not want you to drag your feet. They do not want you to waste time. You need to be expeditious, or you need to work expeditiously. An adverb there for you, a nice adverb to show fast. We'll now go on from 6 to 10. So I've got 10 for you, I've done 5, and let's continue with 6. So the 6th word we have is this word odd. Odd again is a very simple word. So when you find something that's not very normal, we call it odd. That, like the odd one out, it stands out from amongst everyone else who seems to have a commonality. The odd thing stands out. So this word, instead of the word odd, and what happens with odd is sometimes negative, very negative, in a funny kind of way. So you can also use it for something that's funny, people say odd, and for something that's strange, people say odd, and people also use it as a form of insult. So there are very many uses of this word odd. But if you want to be more precise, you can use this word perplexing. So if you say it was perplexing, the situation was perplexing, his attitude was perplexing, the problem was perplexing. Perplexing means, it essentially means that you could not solve it at first sight, or you didn't know what to do with it. It confused you. Perplexity is confusion. Okay. So perplexing is a good word to use instead of odd. You can also use this word mystifying. Mystifying again from the word mystery. Odd. It's odd. It's a mystery. I have no idea what to do with it. I can't make out what it means. So a mystifying condition, a mystifying phenomenon, a mystifying situation. You can use it for all these things. You can use this word mystifying, okay, or mysterious if you like. You can use that also. It has this, it's strange kind of feeling. Another good word is eccentric. Eccentric, center and eccentric, off the center, off the normal, eccentric. That's how you remember it. If someone is eccentric means, sometimes you use it to say he's a little crack. Sometimes you used to say that he's got some certain attitudes and behaviors that does not fit the normal behaviors of people. So then they are eccentric, those people. Not all eccentricity is bad. Sometimes eccentric people can be very, very intelligent also, and that's why they are off, a little off the normal curve. So therefore an eccentric person, an eccentric attitude, an eccentric behavior, normally we use it for this kind of thing, eccentric person, eccentric behavior. Okay. The seventh one is cunning. Now it's something that we learn when we are children in grade 1. The cunning fox, isn't it? Or the cunning wolf. And then this word cunning sits in our heads and then we use it all the time. So instead of cunning, you can use this word crafty. It's a nice word, crafty. Crafty means a person who has planned something very carefully. A crafty person is one who has thought about it and planned. So for example, if you take in Mahabharata, you take Shakuni Mama. He is a crafty guy. A crafty person is that who plans things and who designs things to make sure that they win by not by honesty but by dishonesty. Crafty. Okay. The other one is devious. Devious. A devious person again is a crafty person. Somebody who is not straightforward, somebody who is not honest, and somebody who will use shortcuts of the evil kind to get what he wants. So devious. Again you have this word scheme. Can you see the word scheme? So scheme, ing. You don't have the full E of scheme there. Scheme and then ing. Scheming person again is one who plots and plans and schemes and has ideas and thinks of how to spoil things or how to sabotage things. That sort of a person is a scheming person. So instead of cunning, if you say the scheming, even if you are writing a story, even if a small child is writing a story in a school, if you say the scheming fox, it has essays in grade 5 and he wants to write this word cunning. Instead of cunning, you write scheming, and suddenly the scheming man, the scheming woman, the scheming wizard, it will become fantastic, the story. And then you have this word treacherous. 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 Treacherous is to betray. Treachery is betrayal. Someone who is going to try to be your friend and then stab you in the back. That sort of person is a treacherous person. He is of course naturally cunning. All those foxes and wolves in our fables are cunning. They pretend to be your friend and then they go and try to do something terrible to you. So treacherous is a good word. Treacherous can be used in many ways. You can have a treacherous road, you can have the treacherous slope of a mountain. Anything that betrays you is treacherous. So that can be used for other objects also, not just people but for objects. The treacherous knife, for example, would be something that you might call a murder weapon. Stubborn is the 8th word, and you have the word adamant. Adamant. Adamant means stubborn. Adamant means you don't move from your position. You stick to something, and no matter what anybody says, you're adamant. So your father could be adamant about something, about saying that you cannot go and live outside the city when you finish school. Your mother could be adamant about something like who you should marry. So you can have people who are adamant about many things, where they take a position and don't change. Stubborn has got a childish touch. So a child is stubborn, he throws a tantrum. But adults are adamant, which means they don't change their views. Then you've got this word cantankerous. 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 Good word. Cantankerous is not used if your dad says you can't go and live somewhere. That is not cantankerous. Cantankerous means you are so short-tempered and you're so angry. There's something about you that you're like a bear with a boil, as they say. See, I'm giving you a lot of idioms also. A bear with a boil means someone who's always short-tempered, who's ready to fight, ready to be angry. That kind of a state is cantankerous. Very short-tempered and very patchy. That sort of a person is cantankerous, and of course he will be stubborn, won't he? So instead of saying stubborn, you can say cantankerous if he is then also in a bad mood. Obdurate. Obdurate. Nice word, strong word. And obdurate. Obdurate is again stubborn, an obdurate person, an obdurate attitude, obdurate behavior. So you can use obdurate for a lot of situations like that. The 9th word is ugly. Ugly is an ugly word. It's an old world word. It somehow is not politically correct. You know, this word ugly has got unless you're talking about some kind of sin. Ugly typically is not a word that you should be using. It's got moral connotations. Instead of that, say it's atrocious. Atrocious. C-I-O-U-S. Atrocious means it's terrible. Should not do it or not go with it. It's atrocious. Or you can, if you want to say ugly, the better word is grotesque. Grotesque. See the Q-U-E? It's a French ending. Grotesque. Okay? Grotesque. Grotesque means terrible looking, maybe like a monster, maybe someone who's extremely disfigured and who scares, let us say, children. You would call that sort of person face grotesque. But you have to be very politically correct. You should make sure that you don't say something to hurt people. So that's why I use these words very judiciously. Judiciously means carefully with judgment. Judicious, see, with judgment. Obnoxious. Obnoxious, something to be avoided. And obnoxious language, obnoxious behavior, obnoxious, obnoxious way of dressing, or an obnoxious way of talking, or obnoxious way in which you abuse someone. This is obnoxious. Very hateful and very undesirable, not ugly kind of behavior is obnoxious. The last one is angry. She's angry with me, I'm angry with her, don't angry me, like they said in the movies. So this word angry again is a boring word. Instead of that, use indignant. Indignant. Indignant means you're full of anger and there is a certain kind of controlled anger, that is indignant. Okay, it's not the kind that flares up and you start screeching around, but you hold it back, that's indignant. Incensed. Incense is also when you are very angry and you hold it back, but you are so angry that you are almost shaking. That sort of incensed. Incensed means very angry. Infuriated. Infuriated. Infuriated means furious, extremely angry. And wrathful. W is silent. Wrathful. R-A-T-H-F-U-L would be the correct sound, but you've got a W in front of it which is silent. So wrathful, wrath means anger, and therefore wrathful means very, very angry. So if you just learn these words, just learn them. There are 3 words each. Learn them, and more importantly, start using them. And if you do that, it will be awesome. You'll do well. Writing with Ease is the book that you want. It's like a thesaurus, and you will find it at our website www.mindsprings.in. So subscribe to our channel, press the notification button, make sure you put your comments in the box below, and keep practicing. Use these words and you will be fantastic. Write to me and tell me how you're doing. So till we meet again, keep smiling.